Suicide Donny and the Ball Boy. Well, Akil, I think that's a valid point. Thank you for the super chat from Chris Scott as well. Can I just say this as well? I mean, look, I'm baffled by this. I'm sure people will say, well, you're thick if you can't understand it. But Real Madrid, I mean, we've just spent 4 months watching Perez have a meltdown publicly. You know, he thinks he's it with his Super League. Now it's still going and no one wants to be in it. You know, Real Madrid and Barcelona and Juventus are obsessed with the Super League because their finances are in a mess. They're in a mess. Absolute mess. They needed that Super League because they are losing money. They are. They've got stadiums to pay for. People are less interested in La Liga. They're desperate. What do Real Madrid do when they're desperate? They go and offer 150 million euros for Kylian Mbappe. Now, that's what goalkeepers do. It's goalkeepers. Somebody just said Ben Foster the GOAT. I don't know why people are saying Ben Foster the GOAT. But what I was going to say is that I predicted this about Barcelona and Real Madrid. People think that they're finished. They're not finished because they're football clubs. They're not finished yet. What they are is they are looking at they're in a bad situation. So what they do is they go and buy. They go and buy. What United do is we can't afford to buy because we're a business. What Real Madrid do, and Barcelona will do it as well, they are in a mess. Financially, they are in a mess. But they'll go and spend money to get them their way out of it. Now, it didn't work well for Barcelona. They spent a lot of money and they're in real trouble. Then it cost them Messi. But I'd rather be Barcelona than Manchester United. And people will say, well, that's stupid because that would be like Bruno walking out the door for free. Barcelona were run badly in a very different way to Manchester United. Barcelona and Real Madrid are football clubs and they are beholden to their fans. Now, Barcelona have made a bloody mess of it, but they tried to buy their way out of it, and it went wrong. I'd rather be owned by owners who actually want us to be a football club. If we went bankrupt, we wouldn't go bankrupt. If we got into financial difficulties because we acted like Barcelona, it would be very, very angry and very frustrated. But bottom line is, it's just an idiot who's run that club and made mistakes. United, it's like we could go bankrupt because we're run by businessmen who make us operate around the bottom line through debt and dividends and don't run us like a football club. And the point is that Real Madrid are going to spend £150 million on Mbappe when apparently La Liga's dead and apparently Real Madrid are on the decline. Yet they're going to go and do a deal like that. You know, they've lost Ramos for free. Varane's walked out the door. They're going to buy Mbappe because they want to get back. They're not going to just sit there and go, this is the end of Real Madrid for 20 years. This is the end of La Liga for 10 years. They're going to try and get their way back as a football club. 150 million euros, that's more than we've spent this summer. And yet we're in the Premier League in the richest league in the world, which everybody predicts in the next 10 years is going to get richer and richer and richer, and yet we're being outspent by Real Madrid, who are showing more ambition than we are to try and get back on the top of Europe. And that is a frustration. But the interesting thing here is that if Mbappe goes to PSG this summer for 150 million euros, it's probably not going to be enough time. But PSG have suddenly got the money to buy Pogba. And this was reported this morning. PSG want Pogba, and they're basically saying, wait till next year and we'll get you on a free transfer. But there is a story there this morning that if that money came in quick enough from Mbappe, they may try and get Pogba. Now, they'll probably wait a year, but it just shows you how quick clubs think. We're sat here with 6 days to go going, we ain't got enough time to sell Lingard and buy a player when we have. Yet, Mbappe's not even gone to Real Madrid yet, and there's a story that if that happens, PSG might make a late bid for Pogba. Now, it better bloody not happen because we can't afford to lose Paul Pogba. But on the other hand, imagine Mbappe goes to Real Madrid for 150 million euros, right? And then on transfer deadline day, PSG come in and go, we'll give you £70 million for Paul Pogba. Well, United are going to lose him for nothing in a year's time. It's all right going, we can't let Pogba go because he's so important to the season, but in a year's time we're going to lose him for nothing, and there's 70 million. A lot of people would go, well, you've got to take the 70 million. I wouldn't. I'd be like, well, that's the Glazers' fault. We've got to keep him. Ollie's decision making and favouritism will cost us again. He can be a great manager because he's very positive, but he needs to improve his tactics, says Richmond. Yeah, well, I think ultimately we're in for a very, very interesting end of the transfer window, and nobody knows which way it's going to go. We have got time, and a competent club wouldn't have put us in this position anyway, but a competent football club who wants to be